Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
So excited.
It is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Couple of things. Are we all still on what's that thing called in Turkey? Tryptophan. Do we have any tryptophan hangovers or any other? No, don't answer. Don't answer, Robert Stewart.
It's only Tuesday.
Don't call them out.
I know.
Sobered up yesterday.
I know. It's good. They're coming in like in droves online at this point. It seems as though we've entered into the season of viruses as well. There's a lot of stuff going around, so I trust that everybody's remaining healthy and happy and well. Let's start out today by filling buckets. Who has a bucket that they would like to fill? Let's raise the roof, the energy level. Yes, Hannah.
So Hannah's, she just with bold and everything, and she was running around like a turkey with her head cut off, and she did an awesome job, and she was smiling the whole time.
That is
Oh.
awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I will say, so just a little insight, you get a peek behind the curtain. When Bold comes to town, just so you know, leadership gets the opportunity to put it all together. And by put it all together, I mean, find the place, pay for the place, find lunch vendors, pay for lunch vendors, make sure that everything is organized. And I was a Bold coach. I get it. It's a big deal. Y'all handled it so well. And for one market center to put that on, that's a feat that is not often accomplished across the country. And so thank you to Hannah. Thank you to Beth, who organized all of the vendors. We had several vendors that were so gracious in supporting us. Thank you to the vendors and to the agents that were there. I don't know if any of you saw my post. Did you all know that there was 4.100, okay, I got it right. 4,100,500. 4,100,500 dollars GCI that was earned by the agents in that room over the last 7 weeks. That translates to, I'm going to pretend like I can say this. 148,870,370 in volume. At a 2.7, sometimes there's 3, sometimes it's 2.5, and
You guys notice how she pointed at me? On the 3?
Yeah, I know. I didn't point at anybody because commissions are always negotiable. Yes, and that means that they did a heck of a lot of business. So thank you to Hannah, thank you to Beth, thank you to our vendors, and thank you to the agents that invested in their businesses, and congratulations. All right, who else? Who else would like to fill a bucket?
Participants in Bold.
Yeah.
So I got to go to graduation yesterday.
Yeah.
The energy, the excitement, that was awesome. Very, very cool.
It was really cool, wasn't it? We had a good group.
Extremely.
Yeah. And I will say, our instructor rocked it. She did amazing. Our coach, Michael Ann, and I've known Michael Ann since the beginning of time. And she is fierce. She is fierce and she is kind. Her fierceness, the edges have been a little bit rounded as she's gotten older. And I love that about her. So she's amazing. That's why we got those numbers, because she held us all accountable to our stuff. All right, who else? One more bucket.
Oh, Big Rob's bucket. Not only is he sober today, but every time I come in, the guy has things to say. Like him and I just have high-level, quick business conversations, and they're always impactful. And this is like the last 4 times he's been here. Always impactful.
Yeah, it's true. He and I just had a really good conversation right out by the coffee pot. We had a coffee pot conversation, and it wasn't a coffee pot.
It was productive though.
It was a
That's
high level.
That's kind of gossip.
It was so good.
well on that, Robert.
Robert, thank you. Anybody online that wants to bring any buckets that they'd like to fill? Just making sure. I want to pass up this opportunity. All right. Let's welcome our newest agents. So we have Kathy, Lisa, Brandon, and Laura, who have most recently joined us. And I just want to see on the screen if I see Catherine on the screen. Catherine, if you'd like to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself, we would love to hear from you.
Hello, I'm Kathy. Just thought I'd join you today and get a feel for everything. I'm so happy to be with Keller Williams Select, and thanks so much for having me.
We are ecstatic to have you. Thank you for joining us, and we welcome you. Anybody? Yeah, hi, in real life, Brandon is
I'm
here.
here.
Brandon is going to tell us about you, Brandon.
I'm Brandon. I
Yes.
don't know much to say. I was a teacher for 5 years. I had to step away this year, and so I'm excited to try something different. And yeah,
Now you're just teaching a different group.
exactly.
You will find those same skills correlate exceptionally well in our industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Welcome. We're very excited to have you as well. Anybody else that I'm missing on screen? Just want to make sure. We're super excited to have these folks join us. Welcome, welcome. And a huge congratulations to our newest cappers. Everybody give them one big hand. Congratulations to Ben and to Dave for capping. And congratulations to our first closers. So Maria, Tara, and Nancy all had their first closing since our last team meeting. Congratulations, you guys. And then our first closings with us, Adam and Carrie. Congratulations. Woo! Hey, Adam, that is so cool. Adam, if you don't know Adam, he does farms specifically. Walks in, does the land, does the house. It's amazing. Pardon me? Only farms. It's all it does. Yeah, he knows them very well. And it's very unique. Farms are really unique. Nobody knew.
The app or the farm?
Oh,
Only farmers like.
oh,
Yeah.
look at you. See? Top individual agents for closed volumes and units in October. Wendy, Trent, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. Hannah and Sue. Congratulations. Nice work. Watch out. Hannah is coming. And our top teams in closed volumes and units in October. Heritage Group, Success Home Team. Nice work. And the Bierman Partners. Congratulations. Do we have Heritage Group? No, they're out of the will. Congratulations to our top groups, closed volume and units, Travis Anderson Group, Duffy's, nice work. And then the whole real estate group, congratulations, woohoo. Oh, Aiden's on.
I was just texting it too.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay, so what have we got cooking? Coming up in the Market Center, we have our Alexis Nexus on December 5th. If everybody could send some really good vibes to Alexis, she is recovering from being sick. It's kind of kicking her butt right now, and she is still available. She wanted me to let you know that she is still like checking emails and texts, and she is available. Just give her a little bit of time if she needs to, get back to you. But on Tuesday, December 5th at 11 a.m., we will have our Alexis Nexus, all things real estate mastermind. Come with your greatest questions, and we will discuss. Then on December 6th, you guys might want to write this down. Tech the Halls, our live stream. We are going to be live streaming here, and Tech the Halls is an amazing, it's an event. It's not just a class that Keller Williams International brings to us. So I highly, highly encourage you, if you're able to join us, go ahead and do so on December 6th. And in fact, we moved our business planning clinic because International scheduled that on the same day as our business planning clinic. And so we've moved that to a different day. And then how do you seller financing to build wealth with Eric? Hey, Jared, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure can. So the Select Wealth Committee, we're bringing Eric in. Eric is an agent here. He purchases a lot of apartments. He does apartments, essentially, and other things, but he uses seller finance all the time. And so he works that into the deal. So if he's going to tell us about it on the 14th on how he does it. And he does it all the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the funds, and he'll talk about not having funds, and he'll sit at the closing. He's sold the property as well.
Yeah.
Using some seller financing. person came in with 0 down and received a $300,000 check at the closing table and the deed to the property. So
That's a good day.
Eric is extremely, extremely smart. So I would say go to that.
Very good. And invite your friends. If you know of folks that would benefit from learning more about this, please feel free to invite them. December 14th at 11 a.m. I think did he have the one up in Duluth?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was working on that when we transferred him over. So our business planning clinic, who's all got their business plan completely done for 2024? Good, because this is a good thing. So you may want to just scan this. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed that it works. Krista, can you scan this just to make sure? Because sometimes my technology doesn't necessarily work with us too well. And yet, business planning clinic on the 13th is going to be provided to us by Shelley, Trent, Jonas, and Jared. And it's going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Making sure it works. Oh, Tara got it.
Did you get it? Okay.
Okay, good. All right. So if you'd like to sign up, please scan the QR code. Also, you can look at your emails. Did you know that Sarah sends out a weekly email every Sunday that gives you all the rundown for the whole week of what's happening in the market center? So it's available to you every week so that you can plan, because we know on Sunday night, that is when you're going through your week. And you're making sure that you've got your time protected for all of your lead generation and you've got your appointments all set. And so Sunday you will receive your newsletter. Questions, comments, concerns, ahas about this? Yes.
Oh, sorry, this is about the previous slide. I'm on the schedule right now. Could front desk or whoever runs the calendar make sure that Tech the Halls is on the Market Center calendar?
Sure.
It's probably not because it's KWRI, but
I got
then
you.
we can subscribe.
Perfect.
How long that lasts? Oh, it's a 9 months.
365 days. No, I think it's an all day thing.
I can't say enough about that event. I don't know if anyone else in here was on that last year, but they do an amazing, it's a very legitimate.
But it wasn't KWRI last year.
Last
It
year, I
was
think Nick
by the
was.
Texas region. And then I think
Oh, yeah.
KWRI liked it so much, they like adopted it or helped,
Yeah.
which
So
is
anything that you have like questions on command or what it can do for you or all these things that people are wondering, like they will have people talking about it. It's awesome.
Yeah. And people that are actually using it
Yes, it's very,
at
very good.
a really high level.
Yep.
So that's that. Mark, I don't know the time.
last year was like all day.
Yeah.
With like maybe a little break,
Yeah, it's like probably 9 to 3, I would guess.
but it's recorded.
This will be a really good one too, from what I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can stick around, you might want to, like, this is okay. You know, a break during that one. No, I'm teasing you, John.
Let's talk about money. It's
Yeah, we are.
the reason why we work.
What, do you know what your subjects are? Which one you're speaking on? I don't remember.
I'm teaching on the budget model.
You're doing the budget model?
I don't even like numbers, but I track them like you wouldn't believe, and we're really profitable because of it. So
Yeah, well, you focus on expands. Nice work.
Organization model.
Org chart, or, yep, leverage.
Lead gen.
Lead gen. Yep. And then I'm going to open and Shelley's going to talk about goal setting. If there is anybody who should be instructing on protecting your time and organizing your schedule and setting your goals, she can do that. Santa Claus. Our culture committee has put together an amazing event. So a couple of things with this. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be here on Friday, December 8th. Can't remember the time. 4 o'clock. I think they're done though at like 6:30. They're only really here for like 2.5 hours, I think. So we might want to double check with them. They're amazing. They look like actual.
Who is it?
Santa.
Santa who?
It's Paula. It's
Paula.
Paula Skyriova and her husband Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
And they're legit. Like
Yeah.
they do things.
it's not the real Santa.
Shoot. It's Santa. They're coming down from the North Pole.
Couldn't afford it.
So bring your kids, bring strangers' children. If you don't have children and you'd like to bring children, you can bring your pets. Don't tell Matt, our person that we can bring pets, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. There's gonna be, we're just gonna ask for forgiveness later. But bring your pet.
Randy?
It's a great way to touch your database, even if they live in Ely and won't come. It's a great way to touch your database. So send it out to folks and let them know. Is there anything I'm missing, Kathy Foley? Is there stuff that I'm forgetting?
So we do have a pet center, so that the pets are gonna do like little offering things.
We have a pet thing. I'm bringing
With
Gus.
selfies and we have a hot cocoa bar. And we have, cookie decorating
Yes,
and, writing letters to Santa.
awesome.
And so all throughout the office here, and then at the very end, to take your photo with Santa, and we have a Polaroid picture that like that.
Nice.
And we are asking that people will bring a donation, to the 360 community. We do have a list of items. And so they bring the donation, collection center of what Santa is collecting it. And for collecting them, and then, they'll get stamped, and then they can pick. And then we have the door decorating.
Yeah.
That's gonna, and everybody who is attending the event will vote.
Uh-huh.
Who's the defending
So
champ?
with Duffy's, I will just say this year, you know, you cannot,
Are you cheating?
you can't influence the market center agents by having, you know, little cocktails.
Well,
I think we have a right to vote on that.
there may, the HOA here may have a music.
I'm your neighbor and we are going to win.
Not to mention, I think there was felonies, actually felony issues at Egan with people stealing stuff from like frozen.
Oh, yes, there are stories, Miss Maggie.
Anything goes.
Miss Maggie calling literally Party City's owner and saying, we need to steal this person. Because we had to decorate it. So it gets a little bit fierce. Everybody who has an office here, please decorate your door. And no holds bar, like all stops are gone, like whatever you want to decorate it. We are doing a theme of a vintage Christmas. So if you'd like to stick with the theme, you're more than welcome to. A vintage Christmas. If you want to do something different, have at it. We will vote so that Duffy's and I will win.
And we are gonna have a day where, let's see, when is it?
It's Wednesday. Yes. Yes.
Wednesday.
Here, I can give you the date. Let me just.
If you would like to join us, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Tomorrow.
Yeah, the 29th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll be here.
I sent out a reminder email also.
Brittany, thank you for sending out that reminder email. Yeah,
Yes, definitely.
we'll have Christmas carols and trees, all the things. A partridge in a pear tree. We're gonna have it all. All right, who wants to sell a property or who has buyers that can't quite find anything on the market right now? Anybody got an off-market deal that we need to make happen? Hey, Megan, you got anything over there on the East Coast?
We just have one that's coming on, I think tomorrow. It's 2 acres in Hudson, really, really cute split that has been completely updated. So that is it. And then we have a couple of TNAS that if you want something in the Stillwater area, let us know. We're ready to sell.
How's the one over there that you just got, the big boy? Did we get that one sold? That we just
We're
got?
very close. We're very close. You know, the one in Hudson, very close.
Good. Congratulations on that. All right, who else?
They've never taken an ugly listing. I feel like all their houses are cute. Trent, you want to share it after this?
Not yet.
Oh, we got a secret coming.
It's not a secret.
Okay. All
But I
right.
do have a question.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard leadership? Have you guys heard much about the off-market database that they're creating in Commander? I think it's already created for upcoming listings within your market center.
They're working on it.
They're still working. Do you remember what it's called? Because they talked about it at the mastermind. They didn't say much on it. Some people are already using it, it sounds like.
It's in labs.
Okay. Well, that will be wonderful when we have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the one thing, but we've been asking for this. So cool, so good. Anybody else? Yes, Elijah.
Got a buyer looking for anywhere from 375, 400 if it's, I guess, men's. Hard to find that for District 196. 4-bed, 2-bath, 2+ car garage. In return, they have a 2-bed, 3-bath, 2-car townhome in Rosemount that they're selling. That'll be about 270-ish. Got a West Bloomington coming up probably within 2 months, maybe 3 of January or maybe February, but that'll be about 550, and that's 4-bed, 3-bath, and quite a bit of updates. Hot tub patio is new, heated garage, and Inver Grove Heights within 2 months, hopefully, knock on wood. It's been ongoing. 6-bed, 2.5 bath, 5-car garage, 1 acre, kind of over by the YMCA Thompson Reuter area.
Yeah.
And that'll be around, still kind of narrowing down the price, but 450, about 425 to 450, depending on how much more updating they want to do.
Huh.
And then looks like I need to talk to Adam about acreage and farms, because I got 2 people looking for 5+, 10+ acreage.
Yeah, talk to him. He knows stuff. He knows things. Yeah. All right, who else? Anybody on the hallway back there? Have you got anything cooking?
I always have things, but I don't know, I don't wanna,
Okay. You don't want to let them out of the bag yet?
I don't have listing agreements signed, but I mean, I could get them like overnight, I guess, one was just.
Okay. All right, anybody else? I don't want to stop the train if we need to. Was there anything in the chat? I did, okay, no, just chatter. Okay, good. Awesome. All righty. This is you.
Us.
Yes, this is us. This, wasn't that a show?
You, plus sign, me.
Yeah, this is us. Okay, so we can stop sharing so that we can see the folks. Is that okay if I do it from here? You know me, I can break things really quick. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's talk. So first of all, I can't thank you enough. Trent went down to Gary's Top Mastermind and he
Almost didn't go.
Really?
Yep. That would've been a mistake.
Yeah. And so he was gracious enough to bring back all of his information that he learned from not only Gary, but the agents in the room.
Yeah.
So if you guys have pens, paper, or typing things, if you need something, raise your hand and I'll go grab something for you. You guys should take notes. And before we do it, Trent, can I just say one quick thing before we do it? So one of the things that we learned in Bold yesterday that I thought was so impactful that we can look at for going into 2024 is the equation. So write this down really quick and then we'll segue right into this, Trent. I apologize. I just.
No, you're good.
It's called the 1% rule. It's so cool. I love it. So if you take 1 to the power of 52, what does that equal? 1.
You told you numbers budgets, man.
1 times 52, like to the power of 52, is still 1. Who said 1? Was it you, Mark Duffy?
Probably. There's Hidova.
Jason Hidova, engineer. And okay, so what if we did this? Did you know that this changes to what does this mean? It's like algebra back in high school. You're like, well, I
failed that, so.
I have no idea. What this means is staying the same every week gives you the same result at the end of the year. If you just increase by 1%, a 1% better conversion rate, if you will, if you have 1% more time dedicated to lead generation, if you spend 1% more energy in your relationships, If you increase your activity 1% on exercise, did you know that by the end of next year, you'll have an increase of just about 70% just by doing 1% every week? A
1%
little
more
bit
every
better.
week.
Yep, 1% better every week. If I could go from, let's just say, a 75% conversion rate to a 76% conversion rate, what would that do to my listings taken? See, sometimes we set ourselves up for these huge, ginormous things. And if we just stick with consistency, like Gary says, time on task over time gives you the results. So that was just a little tidbit that we touched on yesterday that I thought was super impactful.
And you don't even realize that you're building half the time until you look back and realize you're 70%.
Yeah. You're 70% better.
You get immediate satisfaction, which is why people dump money into lead gen sources to try and get leads today instead of nurturing their database and getting leads that are going to close in 90 days or beyond.
Beauty of compound interest.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it is. Compound time on task over time, guys. Just stick with the consistency trumps everything. So if you can, when you can, choose to stick with it, just 1% better every week.
I took a screenshot. A friend of mine, Carly, she's an agent with Keller Williams out in North Carolina. She said something yesterday on Facebook. It was so good. I took a screenshot. She said, "You want to know how our December is our second best month this year? It's simple. There's no one in my entire office right now but me, and it's 5 p.m. You get out of it what you put into it. If you want to be successful, just show up. Creation equals creation." I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Because a lot of people just go, "Oh, the market's slow."
Yeah.
And then they leave early.
Yeah.
She stays.
Yeah. It's slow because they've chosen to make it slow.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that's a bad thing. I do want you to bake cookies. I want you to go Christmas shopping. I want you to decorate your trees. I want you to spend time with your family. And just don't stop completely. Just do 1% better every week. Okay. Let's go
It's pretty
into.
cool to see this many people in here and on there, though.
Yeah. Well, we're a good group.
All right, I'll try to go kind of fast. If you guys want to ask questions on certain things, you can. I have like 9 pages of notes. It was really great. Obviously, anytime you can sit in a room with Gary Keller, I could have just sat there for weeks and just listened to him talk. But he talked for the first probably hour about the lawsuit. If you guys don't know what's going on with the Sitzer Burnett lawsuit, you need to know. So we won't get into that, but definitely do your research. A few things I have written down that I thought were great takeaways was he does believe that the requirement for buyer broker comp will go away. I don't think it'll change much, and he doesn't either. And I'll touch more on that here in a little bit, but he does also see a decoupling of NAR and the MLS, which it already is that way in a lot of states. In our state, to have access to the MLS, you have to be a member of SPAR, NAR, MAR, all the R's. And you pay your dues, right? And so it's going to cause NAR and the associations to really up their value to make you want to remain a member, but essentially they're not going to be able to require it. That'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. All of this moving forward, this could take years to sort out. So don't let it affect your business now, and don't get worried about it now, but you definitely need to know what's going on and how to communicate around that, because you're going to get questions about it. One of the things that he said is like, prepare to be put on blast. Like once the big news sources grab this and they really have something, it's clickbait, right? Like, did you sell a house last year? You overpaid. Click, like it's going to just get people to click. They're going to get fired up. But if you know how to respond to that, it will get shut down very quickly. And one of the things that I thought was just so perfectly said by Gary is that a seller or an agent, because actually when we take a listing, and our forms are different than a lot of states, we're actually really protected here, which is great. Our forms, when we take a listing, we take it at a certain percentage, and then we offer a percent of our percentage to the other agent, right? So it's not really this, it is the seller paying it, but it's us offering that number. It has nothing to do with what the seller wants, unless I guess they want to have a say in it, but that creates a marketplace. If you look at any retail good you purchase, the cost of sale or the cost to transact is covered by the seller of the product, right? When you go into a grocery store and you buy groceries, everything you buy off that shelf, the person who created it's paying Target to put it on their shelf and sell it to you. You're not paying someone to help you. Same when you go in and buy a car, right? If you had to pay an agent to buy a car sales would probably go way down, right? The manufacturer of the car pays the dealership to sell the car to you. And so if we take away buyer broker comp, we take away a lot of the marketplace. And if you can communicate that message to your sellers when you go sit down with them at a listing appointment of like, well, I don't want to offer. Well, let me tell you, this is part of our marketing plan because you're going to reach a bigger portion of buyers. The whole purpose of marketing a house is to reach the most amount of potential buyers. So more to come on, this is just going to be ongoing, you guys. So my best advice when it comes to this lawsuit thing is check in on it constantly. Check in on it, see where it's at, talk to other agents and see what kind of messages they're hearing. You know, I know we have some agents who have already had sellers talk about wanting to offer 0%, right? They have to lower the commission. It's a whole other conversation we could sit here and talk for hours on. So again, my best advice, be in the know, understand it, understand how to communicate around it. You're going to be just fine. Don't let it change the way you're doing business.
And I will just interject two quick things. Number one, Jared and I have been talking extensively about this, that we will be providing more classes on, and we need to be mindful of, we can't tell you exactly what to say. You're independent contractors. However, we can give you guidelines and best practices.
Yeah.
How to make sure that your buyer presentation is top notch, how to make sure your listing presentation shows the value that you provide to that seller, how to have those dialogues so that you can overcome some of those questions that these sellers are going to present to you. So stay tuned. It is coming. We're going to work with our productivity committee on making sure we get those classes into the schedule. And number two, real quickly, NAR. One of the things about NAR that I think they are, they don't do well is they don't tell their story well. And so a lot of people are like, forget about NAR, get rid of NAR. We just pay them a lot of money and what have they done for us lately? There was a few years ago where there was actual legislation that wanted to put a sales tax on our commissions. And NAR went to bat. And there's a very large lobbying that they do to protect home ownership for the consumer as well as the realtor. So before we decide to burn them down, we may want to just learn a little bit more about what they actually do for us and maybe get involved.
Yeah, they do a lot of positive.
They do a lot. So anyway, that's okay. I'll shut up. You keep going.
Preaching the importance of having buyer agency signed up front or initially. I mean, I feel like as a state, we do a good job of preaching that, but you guys would be amazed. I mean, in that room of top producing individuals, probably 50% of them didn't have buyer reps signed at first substantive contact or sometime very near. A lot of them waited until the time they wrote the contract. Don't do it that way. Okay, so one of the things that I shared with the group that a lot of people really enjoyed and I think are going to start implementing, and all you guys should do the same thing, is reviewing your documents through any sort of video system. We use Dropbox Capture, so write that down. It's free. Anytime I have a buyer consult, I go into Dropbox Capture, I pull the forms up on my screen, just like Loom. Okay, so it's got my little face in the corner. I say, Mr. Stomberg, we're going to go through your buyer representation documents here, blah, blah, blah. I take about 10 minutes to do that. And then I actually click and send the email. And then I go into my email, and I'll pull it up and I say, this is exactly what it looks like. And here's how you sign it. And I show them how to sign it on Authentisign. And most of the time it's signed before I even get on the consultation. And my script around that is, let's get this out of the way because yes, this is important, but if we wait and go over this on the consultation, we're going to burn like 30 minutes on just like contractual garb. This way you can go back and read it yourself. You can understand it. You can watch it 20 times if you want. But then on Friday, when we do our buyer consultation, we can focus on really what we're looking at, which is like, what's the timeline? What kind of house do we want? What's our budget? How do I get started? Those are the real important things, right? Like that's the fun stuff everyone wants to talk about. And so leveraging video for that helps in a ton of ways. One, it saves you a ton of time. Two, it creates a paper trail that shows you went over these documents and you said the same thing that you say every single time when you did it. It's a perfect, and yeah, the group really liked that. So if you're not doing that right now, do it. It's the easiest way to get your documents signed up front and sort of avoid that awkwardness. Because I think some people, especially new agents, they don't know, they question their value up front. You know, they don't really know. They've never done this before. And I remember being new too and sort of not really understanding my value proposition. You know, I hadn't closed a single deal or I did one or two and I'm like, man, why would someone work with me over someone else? I don't know. And so that's a hard thing to figure out, and it's a hard thing to admit, but I think we've all been there at some point. Use video to get that stuff out, and then just tell them if they have any questions to ask you at your consultation. Which brings me to my next thing, your consultation. Jason Abrams had an amazing quote that I have written down, and it's, if your buyer consultation is not so strong that the buyer would write you a check for the commission amount at the end of it, it's not strong enough. Okay, we focus a lot on our listing appointments. I say we as a group, we actually focus quite a bit on our buyer consultations. You need to do that too. They need to be as important as your sellers. Okay, so with that, on day one, we spent the entire day deconstructing what we do for buyers and why we do it. Do we have the forms here or no? If we do, great.
Yep.
We can do that at the end when we have like 5 or 10 minutes left, but if you want to start handing them out, you could. So we had a document, and I'm really excited to see what the end result is of this. Every single person in the room wrote out what they did for buyers and then why they did it. Every single person. Then we went into breakouts and we talked about different ideas. At the end, we came together, we passed them all to the middle. Jason Abrams and Jay Papazan collected all the papers, and they're going to create playbooks on this stuff. So you're going to see, as a buyer's agent, here's what you can offer your buyers to create value. Day two, we did the exact same thing for sellers. So the document that you have in front of you, the piece of paper, I had Sarah create this. Thank you. Nothing's in here.
She's in the front.
Okay. So at the end, we'll do this. We'll take like 5 minutes and sort of just like brain dump and maybe collect them at the end, and maybe we can just post on Facebook the results and just see what other people are doing to create value for their buyers. Because it is more important now to be able to articulate the value that you have for your buyer than ever before. And Gary and Jason had a great point. It's like people come to us, right, and they ask us to do something. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. Or, we'll do it. Just forget about it. We need to be able to say what we're doing instead of just saying we'll take care of it, because to them, they don't see all the stuff behind closed doors. We have to be able to itemize and say, this is why you need us. Because everybody knows they need us, right? Okay. Drop your Inman subscriptions. If anybody's paying for Inman, drop it. They are not on our team, and they want nothing to do to help real estate agents as a whole. I know SPAR, I think, provides one for everyone. If everybody could email SPAR and tell them to drop Inman, I think that would be amazing. The way that they handled themselves at the lawsuit was extremely unprofessional, and it hurt the case for the agents.
Can you spell that word?
Inman,
Yeah.
INMAN.
Okay.
It's like National Enquirer, but for real estate news. It's easy. There's a couple big names in the news sector of real estate. That's one of them. But yeah, it was not good. I won't get into that in any further detail, but what else do we have on here? Okay. State of the industry. Seems like they think we're kind of at the worst in terms of market conditions. Like spring is probably going to be a very good spring, with the busiest probably late spring into summer.
Use Jason's analogy.
Yeah, so Jason's analogy was that the market, and if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Jason Abrams, the market is like this bow and arrow right now. It's just, there's so much tension on this, and it's just being held back right now. Interest rates are high, prices are a little high, people are losing some jobs, right? Unemployment is still very low, but it's up a little bit. And as soon as we see things change with interest rates, most likely, it's just going to get let go, and things are going to go crazy again. So communicating that to your people, I think, would be a great value add. Tracking numbers like GDP, unemployment, and all that stuff at a local level, because we looked at it as national, right, which tells you trends. But you should be able to get, and I didn't know this, you should be able to get all of these numbers locally from your chamber. I had no idea that you could do that, but let me see here. For the next thing, just I've got 20 minutes. Getting your buyers back into a consult if your search goes beyond 30 days. Jen Davis brought that up. So those of you that don't know Jen Davis, by herself with a couple of showing assistants, sold 300 buyers in 1 year. She now does like 1,500 on her buyer side. She's amazing. I'm not going to get into Jen Davis. Look her up. But she said that is one thing that she preaches with her team is if you get to the 30-day mark with a buyer, talk to them about getting back into consultation and just mentioning, we must have missed something or maybe things have changed. Let's get back into the consultation so I can get a better understanding of what we're looking for. That sort of triggers them in their mind that, yeah, this is not, I'm either wasting their time or it just gets them thinking that it needs to be going faster. And it's a good opportunity to kind of recalibrate. I have that written down. I thought that was really great. One script I heard on the seller value mastermind that I really liked is they'll send a screenshot of Redfin's property estimate, Zillow's property estimate, and Realtor.com's. So they'll have all three valuations on the same document. And then in that message, it'll say, I can't wait to tell you what I think. That was a great MOFR. So make offer for immediate response, that's what MOFR stands for. That's supposed to get people to be curious. I thought that was a great script. So if anyone wants to use that again, Zillow, basically any online value you can find, throw it on a little document, make it look cool, and then send it over and say, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to show you what I think. Thought that was really good. Right now, with your sellers, weekly pricing reviews, and then also setting your sellers up on MLS searches that match the comps that someone might be looking for with their home. The reason being is that the market's changing, right? So they need to see in real time new listings coming up that are bigger than theirs, more updated than theirs, that are priced better. It's the easiest way. And with your sellers, you guys make things black and white, take emotion out of it. One of the ways that we do that is all of our first listing appointments are on Zoom. We don't even go to the house, and we pull up what they would be competing with directly. And then we share the screen, obviously, so they can see on the screen that they're looking at. And I just ask them, how's yours compared? How's your kitchen compared to this kitchen? How's your master bathroom compared to this master bathroom? And all of a sudden you take the emotion out of it and it becomes really black and white to them. And they go, oh, that kitchen's definitely nicer than ours. Those appliances are definitely nicer than ours. That master bath is way bigger. And like, suddenly you're not the bad guy telling them where they should price. They're the ones doing it. So again, video, Zoom and Dropbox Capture are huge tools for us. They save you time. And they save you from having to have emotional conversations. An agent named Bill, who's in the luxury space in, I think he's in North Carolina as well. He shared this 5-step process. I thought this was really cool. And so immediately he has a list and buy booklet. So he's got a hardcover book that has his value prop, kind of all that stuff in it. We're actually working on one now. And the second thing he sends, and this is after the consult, is he sends a copy of the one thing with a note. And the inside it says, this is my one thing to help buyers and sellers, and I hope this book helps you live the most productive life and find your one thing. I thought that was really cool. If no one in here has read the one thing, it's like a life-changing book written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. We have copies of them right here. I've read it numerous times, and it's not just real estate focused. It's focused on anybody who wants to be productive in life. So I think that's an amazing gift. The third thing that he gives is a candle, and the candle is called
Volcano from Anthropology.
It's called Volcano something. Do you remember? It's like something volcano from Anthropology. Yeah. I don't know what it is about this candle, but the entire trip out there, agents were talking about this candle. So write this down.
Sorry, you missed Cyber Monday yesterday.
It's Volcano something, and it's at Anthropology.
40% off.
So he gives this to them, and he gives them a note that says, we will sell your home before this week burns out. Thought that was kind of clever. The fourth thing that he sends, and this is once they're through diligence period, is a really high quality pen. It's a $50 pen that they'll use to sign their documents. And then the last thing that he sends is it's a box with like some Yetis in it and chocolates and other things and some sort of little riddle. I don't have it down here, but it's like something about goodbyes are not the end. It just means that the Zimmers will see you again. And it just implies, right, that they're gonna be back when it's time to sell or buy or whatever. So that whole 5-step process costs him about $225 per client. So not super expensive, but really impactful. And he says people come to him and they say, I heard about your, like, the stuff, the cool things that you sent us. So.
Can you review the timing of those gifts?
Yeah, so the first one is obviously a consultation, or right before it, it's the list and buy book. So he's got a nice hardcover book that's professional. I mean, it looks like a book you buy at a store, which Walgreens can create them, and they're actually pretty decent quality. That was a shock to me. The second one is the One Thing book, and I believe he sends that over once the listing agreement is signed. The third thing he sends, the third thing is the candle, and I think he sends that when they go on the market. The fourth thing is the pen. He sends that after diligence period, so once it's pending or through inspections and through all that stuff. And then the box is just at closing. Yeah, I thought that was really neat. He brought an example of it as really high quality stuff. Like you can tell it's nice.
And keep in mind, he's in the luxury space too, so
Also,
you could
yeah.
always take that and make it apply to.
Yeah, you could tweak it. Yep. A few things I have written down that I think are really valuable as we start to get into having to market for sellers again is open houses every weekend for every listing is something one agent does. That's a lot, and I know there's certain people in here that wouldn't want to do that. I'm one of them. But I will say I kind of made my career off open houses. So if you're new or you have time, do them. They're awesome. They're really great ways to meet people. And then also using that as an opportunity to door knock around all listings. VIP open houses to the neighbors with wine and cheese and the whole thing. So obviously we're using our listings to find other listings, right? We're not necessarily using listings to find buyers. That's a bonus. But the reason you do an open house as an agent is to find more business in the neighborhood.
Most agents are annoyed when the neighbors come into an open house, and instead think of it, they're the next seller, right? They're walking through your open house. They're probably sort of interviewing you without you knowing.
Yep.
And they want to see what they're, what's selling in the neighborhood and for what price, because they probably have a move in the back of their head. Some may just be curious, but they're going to move eventually. So there's agents that love just doing open houses specifically for neighbors and not even for the general public because of that reason. So
think about ways to add value outside of the real estate transaction. So I just have written down here one thing, but you could go down a deep hole with this is, have you ever asked a seller what their plan is with the proceeds? All right, maybe they're buying a house and they're only putting 50,000 down, but they just netted 300K. Ask them what they're going to do with the proceeds. What's your plan with the proceeds? Because you might lose some to Uncle Sam. Do you want to invest some? Do you want to go buy a property that'll cash flow you? What do you want to do? And if they go, well, I don't know what to do. You need to be the person who has the person they need to talk to. Right? So, okay, if you don't want to buy real estate and you're not really sure what to do with it, I'm going to have my friend, Johnny over here. He's an accountant. He's a wealth enhancement. I mean, talk to him. He'll help guide you on what to do with it so you don't lose. That's one way to add value. Prospect for your business and you get to control what happens. I thought that was a great quote. If you sit and wait, you don't. But if you prospect, you get to control what happens. This is a great thing that I learned, and I think we're going to start doing this, and that's filling the fridge with groceries for the buyer on closing day. So we have these amazing things now called Shipt and all these delivery services. Go in and spend $100 or $150 on things that everyone's going to need, right? Be it's milk and fruits and vegetables and all these different things, and have stuff in the fridge for them so that when they get there, or maybe they're mid-move and someone shows up carrying grocery bags, they're going to be blown away by that. Let's see what else I got in here that's worth talking about. Already talked about clear cooperative compensation. Deconstructing your journey. This will be almost perfect for timing. Oh, create a menu of services and put a value on it. So Jonas, we kind of talked about this when we were on that call. You got to be prepared to meet with sellers who may not want your full package. To me, the other services that we would offer, maybe I offer 2 or 3. The other two, I'm gonna hope direct them to make the top one a no-brainer. Especially because I hate to pardon my language, I hate to half-ass things. If someone's like, well, can I just not have pro photography then? No, like, come on. I'm not cutting that out. But create a menu of services. More on this at some point, because I know KWRI is kind of working on, I'm in a Facebook group with Gary's Top 100 as well, and they've been posting some things about like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And at some point, I'm sure they'll put a playbook together. That's what they're doing. It's awesome. Just showing the different packages. So maybe you have a 4.5% and a 5% and a 6% and maybe even a 7%. I know we just joined Style to Design, which is a really cool tool. The hope is that we can start to charge 7, charge 6 currently, and the value that's
Negotiable.
it's all negotiable.
And
But-
have a for
well,
sale by
well,
owner be the first one.
Well, it is and it isn't, right? For me, no, it's not.
0.
If you want me to work for you, that's my number. They can say no to me, but I have a number.
Mhm.
That is my number. And I'm allowed to do that. Right?
And that's also on your buyer's comp.
It is.
So let's say you're charging 6, 7, 8, 10,
Yep.
and your buyer's comp is 3. They're like, oh, let's negotiate. No, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I need to guarantee you a certain experience, a certain level of service. And if I don't do that, if I don't do these things, I can't give that to you. You can go down the street.
Yeah.
It's okay, but this is what I do.
Well, and a great way,
Huge.
a great dialogue around that I remember, this is like dusting off the cobwebs. So Trent, I can appreciate the fact that you can see here, we've got 4 different plans that we offer you. You get to choose. You're in the driver's seat, you're the seller. Now, we know that in this page right here, there's about 98 different things that we do to sell your house. Here's the thing. One of them works. Which one do you want to take out? And who do you want to roll the dice with to see, is that the one that's going to sell this house?
Great script.
So that's what we would always say when we would present the menu pricing to them, or the menu offers, you know, they're like bronze, silver, gold, platinum. And then we would just say, the Russian roulette about this is there's 98 things on this piece of paper. We just don't know which one is going to be the one.
100%.
If we take that one out, you might lose out.
Right. And everyone in this room can think of where a buyer came from that was so bizarre.
Right.
Right? Like maybe it was something you pinned up at like Brugger's Bagels.
Who knows?
Right? So yeah, that's a great script. You guys should all write that. Really good.
Having that menu is brilliant too, just to say that I literally just lost a listing because I had literally, they told me their objection that I couldn't get past was I had too much marketing. I was so much marketing focused. And I was like, I'm so confused. What are you saying to me? But literally they hired someone who didn't have market. I was like, I'm missing
Was it because they
something.
were less money?
They never brought a price. I tried to get that. I was trying to get the commission, what it was, but it was like, well, you're just so marketing focused. And this person was like, it was someone local in the neighborhood, but it was like,
You're so marketing focused.
I was like, isn't that what you want? That's what you're
That's
paying us to do. But it's funny because I think if I would have I literally had this conversation with Trent a few weeks ago and then I lost the listing. I was like, well, I think if I would have had a menu like, oh, you're too worried about marketing. Well, here's my
non-marketing.
version, like, whatever, right?
A non-marketing version.
I
just thought it was hilarious.
Empower them though, to
Yeah.
make the choice. Here, you can choose.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because I'm here, you're hiring me to sell your house at the highest price at the lowest time in the shortest amount of time with the ease. Which one do you want to take out? Because
Yeah,
I don't want to roll the dice on your net proceeds. You get to choose which one you want
When
to
it
take out.
doesn't sell, who are they gonna call?
Well,
Because you market that.
Yeah.
clearly, but it's just cracked me up because I was just like, it was the first time I heard that objection. It was right after I was like, why would you need a menu? Because I just want to sell the best menu all the time. And it was just a different thought. I'm like, oh, there's objections in the market because it's a different market.
I think in a perfect world, options 2 and 3 direct them to option 1.
Yeah,
They look at
that's
it
the
like, why wouldn't I
design.
just, like when you build a house, like why wouldn't I just put the window there?
Or it just
$900.
assures them
Yeah,
of something
spending
that they were already gonna
$900,000.
choose.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Just do it.
it's like in new construction, when you do that, you said, this is your base price. Now, if you want to add in this bump out, it's just gonna be 2,500. They get to
Nobody
spend
loves the
their
base
money.
price.
And you don't get to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, what did the builder I worked with, he always said that, let them spend their own money, don't spend their money for them.
Yeah.
How often do you actually have that? I mean, how often does the client, potential client, actually know what the going rate is? Or do they, you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever had anyone say, gosh, I know the going rate is kind of in that 6% or whatever, and I'd like you to be at 5.5.
You'd be surprised. A lot of them are going to Zillow. And a lot of them are Googling what the average is, because I'm above the average, and I just say, well, do you want the average agent or you want the guy who's getting more money for the house, right? Like that is, I see I get it half the time. People know, and even after they sign a listing agreement, sometimes they come back and be like, well, I Googled and according to Zillow, the average agent gets this. Like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I would say generally people kind of know.
And it might be, you may not have run into it because you're real database heavy, like it's in your peeps.
Yeah.
So they may not, they don't really care. And if you're doing more lead generation with internet leads or things like that, you might run into it more.
I mean, I do tell them, here's what I've seen. I don't tell them what the market is. This is what I see. The rate is 6 to 7 in general. I say that's what I've seen. I don't know what the rest of the market is. And then if you say you're 6, well, then you're already at the lower end of that number.
A lot of people assume it. I think one of the things I hear a lot is it still right around 7% because they include closing costs like title. I think if you Google like how much does it cost to sell my house, it'll spit out like 7-ish% because it's including title and all that.
People to factor in 8 on their house when I get asked. So average cost about 8% all in.
It's usually not a focus of conversation.
And then the third day, or maybe the last half of the second day, we talked a lot about agents exiting. Estimated 200,000 leaving the business in the next year. Doesn't need to be anybody in this room or on this call. But
That's an age stat though, too. It's not like, don't freak out.
yeah, it's a
like
little bit of both. I mean,
Yeah.
the average agent, I think, is still a 56-year-old or 58.
Think of the opportunity. They're
Yeah.
wanting to hang up their gloves. Who do they want to refer business to?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a great opportunity for those of us that are maybe at the beginning or midway through our careers to help them get out because, and there's this is again, a whole nother conversation. We're running out of time, but if you have spent your entire career building this business, don't just walk away from it. Find somebody who matches what you give your clients and ask them if they want to partner up and find a way to create some passive income so you can move away or spend more time with the grandkids and you know that your business is being taken care of by someone else and create a referral system around that. There's some huge opportunity there for both. That's a big win-win. And I just think that's really cool. So let me see. Your life will be determined by your limiting thoughts. If you think of endless possibilities, the rails will just show up in front of you. But if you don't do this, you will go to your greatest regret. That was interesting.
Got it, Gary.
I think so. One agent sells golden age letters. So as lead gen for retiring agents, instead of sending golden letters to homeowners, they send golden age letters.
He doesn't title it that though. Like,
It's not called that.
He just called it.
But he calls them his golden age letters. He just send, yeah, I thought that was really cool. Sounds bad, but if you're coming from a place of contribution, I want to help you go spend 6 months in Florida and bring your kids to Disney World. That's not a bad thing, right? So don't be offended by that. Yeah, I think that's kind of it in a nutshell. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and shoot. Otherwise, it'd be really fun to take a couple minutes to throw some ideas down on these papers.
Yeah. Did you guys write down any?
Yeah, Jared.
I have a question. What was your biggest takeaway? So we had huge brain dump, really good stuff, but really what stood out to you that you're like, wow, this is.
There was so much great things talked about inside the room, but the one thing that I think is the greatest part of that group is by far the networking opportunities. And so if you're not in that group, that's okay. But my point being is that the events like Family Reunion, Mega Kingdom, all these opportunities to connect with other agents is so much more important than I think we put value on. Like, I came home so energized from that and was like, these people that I connected with are insane. The referral opportunities now, I'm in this group now that's like a guerrilla warfare group so this guy calls me, he's like, hey, we really liked meeting you at Gary's Top 100. Do Do you want to get in this Facebook group where all we do is basically police? They're in the process of hiring cyberbackers to police these referral groups that you see on Facebook and tag only the people that are members of this group. So if it's like, hey guys, I need an agent in Minneapolis, cyberbacker is going to go into the group and go, Trent, there's a referral for you in this group. And then everyone from that group jumps in there, tags me. So, is everybody following what I'm saying? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you said
This
that.
trip cost me a couple $1,000s. I'm going to see that return 10 times.
And
easily.
he almost wasn't gonna go. And then, because the way we have it set up in the system is I get all the invites because we're husband and wife, but I joined after him, so it goes under me. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to go? Like, I keep getting an email, and they sent another email, and I was like, okay, last chance, do you want to go? But we were traveling so much in October, and then our coach said, has there ever been a time where you've been in a room with Gary and regretted it? Even at family reunion, mega camp, those all count. Likely, no. Right. And then he came home and he was like, the most valuable part was, yes, it was cool to be in the room with Gary, but it was the lobby of the hotel and the, cocktail lounge or whatever, talking with all these people.
I mean, sitting at dinner with a guy named Bert next to me who sells in San Francisco. His average sale price is like 8 million. On the other side of me was, I mean, it's just like the people you get to sit there and talk to. Yeah.
But we met him on the end.
It was actually really funny. At Mega Camp, we rode down the elevator with this guy.
Randomly.
I show up to dinner and he was like,
I remember you.
I rode in the elevator with you. I was like, oh yeah. But that's the power of networking, you guys. It's so important. And
It's a huge company, but it's also very small.
if you have a chance to go to any of these events, you have to go because you will take back so much. So
Can we do a favor? Can we keep these and can we bring them to the next team meeting and spend some time masterminding around these ideas? Because I want to put the time into it.
Yeah.
I think the brain power that we have in this room and on this screen can change somebody's business and help us. And I want to give it the time that it's due. And so can we give Trent a huge thank you and appreciate so grateful. And then we'll plan for this exercise, can you remind me, on the next team meeting, which will be in December. Oh, yep, December 12th. Do we have something big that day?
There's a Telefusion open house.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
And a CE class.
We have lots of things and
Yeah.
we're gonna plan our team meeting to be a mastermind around value adds.
Maybe you could write it on the whiteboard too, and until then, you could plop ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep an ongoing list.
Yeah, because I think it's good. We can really, the goal that's here.
Super important question we all want to know. Now that Ben showed up late, is he back in the will or only partially?
Did you take a listing?
Huh?
Did you take a listing? Is that why you're late?
Sure.
Whatever I gotta say to get. I appreciate you all. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah.
Okay, so speaking of CE, we have a CE class today at 1:00, carbon monoxide. So if you have taken carbon monoxide before, you can stay for it. You just won't get credit. But it's just 1 hour. If you didn't sign up beforehand, that's totally fine. You can feel free to stay. But yes, that is at 1 and it will go till 2.
Awesome. And I think we have some extra food in the fridge that's left over from Bold. So if you'd like some pizza, salads, pasta,
All the
soda,
carbs.
all the carbs. You can carve up for the afternoon and then take a nap about 2:30.
Don't fall asleep during the CE class though, they could watch that.
Well, help yourself to that. Appreciate you all, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day and we'll see you soon.
Be healthy, strong, and well. Goodbye, friends. Oh, goodbye, friends up there.
Trent's the third time I heard you speaking that. I got